I went into this project knowing absolutely nothing about this, and I almost felt quite kind of ashamed that when I was watching, I realised that this was something that I'd never heard of before. I was wondering if you knew much about it going into it, and yeah, if that was part of the appeal of getting involved in this project, to tell this story.
Me and you are probably around the 90% of the rest of the world that didn't know about it. You know, people say Stalin. We all know Stalin, the horrible. His body count was, 60 million for his reign. You know, first and foremost, as an actor, I hate going into the whole thespian thing, but you want to research the character. He's a true life character. He was Stalin's right-hand enforcer, call him what you want, but you look at the character first and you find why he was doing this. You kind of get a backstory for him. And, people saying he's probably the worst screen villain you'll ever see. He's everything from the Antichrist to he's impotent. He's a rapist, a mass murderer. He's all of these things. And, his backstory was basically he witnessed his mother getting executed in a church. He was buggered by the priests of that time. And then he was taken over into the Soviet Union and bred to be this person. And, that being said, you start wanting to research the historical facts and the events. And literally, when I went into reading it, and Ian, our financier, who's a Ukrainian, and George Mandela, they started sending me all this stuff to read, and you start looking at it and you're thinking, how didn't I know about this? All schools teach you about the Romans, Hannibal, the Carthaginian, what Hitler did, and this isn't taught in school. And when you start looking at it and trying to fathom or work out in your head, how was it possible for somebody to create a man-made famine and spans over maybe 10 years, and then within 2.5 years for between 2.5 million and 7 million people to perish, to die through starvation, and they call it the Holodomor, which is translated death or murder by starvation. It's horrific how this could happen, and it said Stalin would pay the Associated Press or pay the New York Times and pay these journalists or threaten these people that if they're spoken about it, there's going to be consequences. And even his own people, he put a ban on it. He gagged everyone and said if anybody speaks about it, it's death or 20 years imprisonment. So, and then for it to just come out in the early 90s to be sort of accepted as a genocide or whatever it is still kind of mind-boggling. That, my son was born in 91, and it was like yesterday. Do you see what I'm saying? And you start thinking about it, and you think, how is this possible? And I was very, very embarrassed that I didn't know about it. Hence why I say this is a must-see movie, not because of the stars and the great actors and the great filmmaking, but it's an educational piece that hopefully it'll prompt people to push the internet and educate themselves about it.
I mean, you play, as you sort of mentioned earlier, really kind of nasty bastard in this movie. When you play a character like that, do you have to find some pity or some empathy towards him in order to portray them?
Exactly that. Exactly that. He was right. He was a mean bastard. But you've always, there's other people in the mix for this role. And when I sat down with George, I always knew I wanted this role was going to be mine. I got offered another role in the movie, but I sat down and George said to me, "Listen, why are you so passionate about this role?" I said, "Because it's mine. I've got to do it." And he said, "Well, what is it? What can you bring that other people can't?" And I said, I need to find, even if it's a millisecond, in this character for the audience to love him or feel sorry for him. As I said that, he said, "Welcome aboard." And I think I found that because, nobody's born evil. Nobody's born this person. So there's got to be a reason. And for me, this character, all he's looking for is acceptance and love. He didn't get that from anywhere else. He's had a life of misery and the killing and the Antichrist and all of this stuff. It's just part of his makeup. But he needs to be there and to do that person to drive the movie,
And obviously you've got to work with horses in this one.
Yeah.
I was reading that one of them broke your foot or something like that.
I got stamped on, these horses were working hard with us, and I was with this horse, and the horses are clever animals, mate. He in his head, if he can get rid of me, then he can rest a little bit, So I walked behind the horse stupidly, it stamped on my foot, kicked back and severed my cartilage, went to the hospital, X-ray, was quite funny. It wasn't funny at the time because it was very painful, but there was a horseshoe mark on my foot. And then the doctor said, we need to put you in plaster and give you 6 weeks off. I said, "Don't be silly, I'm an actor, we don't get them privileges." So went back to set, squeezed into the boot, within a couple of hours, the foot would swell up, excruciating pain, having to act through that pain and then cutting me out of the boot at the end of the day. But we got through it and we did it, and I'm good now. So I love horses, I love riding, but I'll only get on them if I have to.
Yeah, because I mean, the characters has to kind of battle through so much kind of emotional pain. Did the physical pain actually kind of help you get into character?
It helped. There was a scene with me and Samantha Barks where she has to clean my feet. And it was great because the foot that was broke, I had a hot bucket and a cold bucket, and I was literally dipping it in and out of that one, and then I'd lift it up and go, right, clean my feet with your hair. And she had the big fat going foot, the poor thing, so she wasn't happy about that.
And my final question is just about this Snatch TV series
that's
coming up. I'm just wondering how your character kind of fits into that. And I mean, obviously this is based on the kind of movie that existed. Yeah. Is that narratively speaking, or just kind of tonally, is it quite similar? What's the kind of connection?
It's Snatch. It's Alex Durakov, who's the showrunner and the writer, and a very dear friend of mine. I've worked with him twice before on The Calcium Kid and Dead Man Running. But he took the choice to have nobody in the original Snatch. It's the same formula. Snatch is the coolest movie brand on the planet, as you know. All the characters are created. It's got everything. You know, it's got the Yardies, the Heimels, the Gypsies, the Pikeys, the Triads. It's got everything in, and it's all set around a bullion heist. And my character's called Holodomor Henry, who's a true life character who was banged up with the craze. And ironically, he's in there for multiple murders or whatever it is, loved everyone until you crossed him and he'd snap your neck. So the irony is that the crazy nickname is Holodomor Henry, which is my character, but it's comedy, and I love comedy, and it's brilliant the way it's done. If you like Snatch, it's 10 Snatch movies, and it's just brilliant. And the cast is great. I mean, Rupert Grint, come on, in Snatch. Yeah, but you're going to be pleasantly surprised because he is brilliant. Excellent. Brilliant.
I can't wait to see it. Thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey